All right. The so-called white man is the damn devil. Right now, I'm in the book of Esther. I'm in the book of Esther, and I'm in the book of First Chronicles. Pretty soon, I'll be going to Second Chronicles. So I'm just trying to make sure that I understand when I'm pointing things out to people. You see what I'm saying? Because remember, I told y'all a few months, maybe like months prior to before I met the brothers on YouTube that actually is out there and they support me. I said that I got to build myself up more. So that's what I've been doing. I'm looking into what the time periods. That's what I'm trying to get to the place, because I know people ask me what time period. How do you really know that our people was in this condition? Then I can use the real life and his situation and my situation standing right here right now to prove that these things really went down. You see what I'm saying? I'm looking at the Babylonians, but what I have to do is go and find out, go to the scripture in Daniel 1, no, Daniel 2, and talk about, no, Daniel chapter 1, my bad. Daniel chapter 1, my bad. Daniel 1, and it talks about King Jehoiakim had took, he was, I think, they, the Israelites was carried into the hands of Babylon, meaning slavery, by the heathen king Nebuchadnezzar. That was the first captivity that happened. You know what I mean? In 605 BC to 539 BC to 168 BC, the Greeks, which were the Romans, the white people, they ruled the Greeks and Rome. They all ruled. They all had agenda of pushing white Jesus. You see what I'm saying? So if you want a perfect example, now, if you go and you look at the book of Hazarez, it's not really, if you, that's why it's good to have the Apocrypha. And I see why now, since I've been doing, I'm digging into that information. When you read at the end, I believe it's the book of Nehemiah. And when you read the book of Esther, the end of the book of Esther, you will see that there were some things that were said that you will have to go and get more information. And the Apocrypha has everything in that. You see what I'm saying? And so during the time of the Babylonians, you know what I'm saying? I'm still learning. When our people was put in captivity, or so you can say slavery, put in slavery under the Babylonians, and during the time of the Greeks, which were the white people, all of them, you know what I mean? They took, during the time of the Medes, if you look at, what's that scripture? Habakkuk, Baruch chapter 3 and verse 48. When you look at Baruch chapter 3 and verse 48, it says, and the heathens sought to paint the likenesses of the images. Because see, when they put them in captivity, then they changed everything, changed the Hebrews language, and they gave them English. That's what we learned English. We learned English through the Greeks. You see what I'm saying? Through the Romans. You know what I'm saying? They pushed the philosophy of white Jesus and all that stuff on us during the time of the Babylonians, of the Medes and the Persians and stuff like that. The image worship. We got Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, all those things, because the Persian kingdom made a proclamation and wanted everybody is to worship the feast of the dedicated things, of the opposite of the holy days of God, because see, during the time of the Medes and the Persian, I believe that there was a festival going on. You see what I'm saying? And they wanted the children of Israel is to adopt to the heathen worship of the Persian customs and stuff. You see what I'm saying? Hold on a minute, y'all. Yeah, they wanted our people is to worship the god of the Persian, you know. Yeah, that's what they wanted them to do, and that's how people, man, I tell you, they be trying to, they swerving around other cars to get the people in that big a hurry, man. That's why they having all these accidents. Nobody's willing to wait. Everybody want everything right now, you know. But hopefully I wasn't off with some of the information, because what I'm actually doing, I've been into the book of Esther and the book of Nehemiah. I'm reading those books. You learn a lot about the slavery. That's what I call it. That's what it is, the slavery. Meaning when you say captivity, that's the same as saying slavery, because captivity is another word for putting somebody in a position to where it restrict. That's what they did to the Israelites. They restricted the Jews to their real identity. You know, when you restrict somebody, just like the jails, when you look at the jails today, what do you see? You see modern day jail, like the prison system and all that type. The prison system and all that is a modern day slave for our people. That's what it is. That's not designed, created for the Europeans or the white people, because the Europeans and the forefathers of the so-called Caucasian people, which that name that you would see in Genesis, Esau, is the biblical name for the red man, the Caucasian people. And they are the ones that is actually the number one people that is responsible for enslaving our so-called African Americans and putting our people in slavery and bringing our people over here on slave ships to serve the enemy of Esau, which is the white man. That's why today our people got to go to their stores, and we got to go and spend and pay taxes and all that kind of stuff. See, when the so-called white man, when they have to pay taxes, it's not really a curse for them, because they helping their people. Every time they shoot and kill a so-called black man here in America or whatever, what they're doing is that that's another benefit off of they benefit off of it. They get rich. It helps their pockets. They benefit off of it more. So you know what? I'm not gonna go that far. I'm gonna turn around here, and I'm just gonna go on back and head toward the house. But I'm gonna try. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep if I have to turn it off because it's getting dark out here and everything, because these people really ain't playing and driving out here the way they drive. I got 2 more days. After this day, I have 1 more day, and my service will be ended. I have to do it renew it whenever I can. I probably won't be able to do it right now, you know. Yeah, man. I mean, it's just something out here, though. You know, that's what they did. That's why. You know, we go through. Now, if you look in their neighborhood, the neighborhoods over in their community is a little bit different from what you see in here. It'll have to be daylight enough to where, y'all be able to see it. But more than likely, you know, when you come to a so-called white people's neighborhood, so-called white, most of the dominant people that stay in there is so-called white people. You can see the grass look like you can eat off the damn grass. You go in our neighborhood, like right now in our neighborhood, they got the grass is real tall. Like in the morning, I'm gonna show y'all. You're gonna see the difference between our neighborhood and their neighborhood. You're gonna see the difference. You're gonna see the difference between our neighborhood. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do a video like that tomorrow. I'm making up my mind. That's a promise. I'm gonna put it on my other channel though, and I'm gonna definitely put it on. No, I'm not gonna put it on this channel because what those things that I'm talking about over here, I don't put them on my other channel, but I'm gonna definitely put it on this channel tomorrow. You know, and I wanna, like when I film, I wanna like get different pictures and stuff. Yeah, that's what I wanna do. I wanna take and get like different pictures and like take pictures with the other camera, you know, film it, and then I can set it up and then show clips of me talking about it and then come back and give you my, it's gonna be basically a chop. I'm gonna chop off some pieces and then I'm gonna put another image in there and just show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all how I'm gonna do it. So I ain't gonna go too far. It done gotten dark. It's getting dark, so it's gonna be dark in a couple more seconds. But like I said, I'm in the book of Nehemiah and in the book of Ezra because they got names there. See, I think one of the reasons why that those names are hard, we can't understand those names in the Bible that's spaced out and stuff, is because our language just was changed and we never heard of those names before. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our people had to learn how to, and even to this very day, a lot of our people couldn't, they like, what the hell is this word? They had to learn how to break words down because they made things so difficult during slavery. You see what I'm saying? And so that's probably why when we read certain words, they take certain, solid. That's why some words are solid and they put like a H at the end or H at the front. Like telephone seems like it should start with a P, but it doesn't start with a P. So they put an H on there to, it will sound like it's saying like Pharaoh will sound like it's talking about an F, but it's really Pharaoh with a P. You don't say Paro, you just say Pharaoh because that would be the proper way to say it because they changed the languages of the words. You see what I'm saying? And so that's the reason why when we look at the Bible, we can understand, I mean, we can't understand those words, and that's how we can relate to it. Like, damn, you know what? That does relate to me because we are liking up certain knowledge. We don't know how to say these words because our people were speaking Hebrew. And because our people is from the lineage of Shem. And Ham, which would be the dark race, sold the Shemites into slavery. The Hamites sold the Shemites into slavery. The Hamites would be the dark race, which would be the Africans. You see what I'm saying? So during that time, when them different powers ruled, when they raped, robbed, and murdered our people, they turned around and stole our identity. So we was given to all these other nations. That's why when Israel served in slavery, they would say, these are the names of the people who was in captivity, that went into captivity: Jeshaniah, Jeconiah, and Josephiah, and Chesbazar, how you say it? Chesbazar or something like that. Now, when you look at that, we don't know what the hell we're saying. Chesbazar. What the hell does that mean? You see what I'm saying? So when you look at those words like Chesbazza and Ben Zohaf and all those names, you like, what is that? And the people be like, that's a Hebrew name. You see what I'm saying? So the reason why those names are said like that, because when our people went into slavery, the slave owners renamed our people. And so it was hard names to where those were named that were named after our oppressors. And so now, that's why when you look at us now, we like, I don't know what language I'm supposed to be speaking. Like a lot of us. You see what I'm saying? We don't know what language we belong because we went into slavery and we lost the memory of who we were, because the Bible says in Psalms 83 and 4, I think it's 83 and 4, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. You see what I'm saying? So when you don't remember something and you see a word and you trying to break that word down, you can't understand it because the slave of the oppressors renamed you and gave a name that you don't know what the hell it is when you're saying it. So that's what happened. I would say that's what happened. But a lot of people got to ask themselves, what was you speaking before? What was we speaking before we were speaking Hebrew? What was we speaking before we were speaking English? Why you think the Hispanics, some of them call themselves Spaniards? Because they was conquered by the Portuguese. You know? That's because they've been conquered. So we wondering like, ooh, I hope I'm not of these damn people. Like, damn, who am I? You know, like, damn, man, I don't know what the hell is going on. It's because our forefathers, we were conquered. That's what that was all about. When somebody conquer you, steal your nationality and your identity, then you get to the point to where you can't call yourself like. It would be just like if you raise your children, right? And your children didn't get a chance. You say, I'm gonna name my children this here after me, which is a godly name. Now, if somebody come along, steal the information that you want to give to the children before they are born, when your children are born, they're not gonna know what to call themselves because the information is missing. Unless they do some research, and somehow, I'm just making hypothetical, by the grace of God, they will end up getting hold of the information and finding the information. And they'd be like, oh, this is what I was named before I was born, and I was calling myself something that I didn't even understand after something that my oppressors named me. So now I don't have to call myself that no more. I can call myself what the Most High God, the God of Israel, called me. Just like Abraham's name. Abraham's name was changed from Abram. Abram's name was changed from Abram to Abraham. You see what I'm saying? What, like when you look at Jacob, what does the name Jacob mean? The name Jacob means deceiver, but the word Israel, it means a prince that has power with God, meaning overcome. You see what I'm saying? It means a prince that has power with God and you overcame. That means you overcame, and then God says your name will not be anymore Jacob, but Israel is going to be your name. And it just simply means in that context, it means that a prince that has power with God, the Most High God, the God of Israel. That's all it means. But when we disobey God, God allowed the other nations, the heathen kings, is to come and steal our identity. And that's how we ended up serving these other nations. So we had to serve them for one of everything. We had to depend upon them for name and all that when we came out the womb. Then they turn around and then they renamed our people. That's why you got a lot of our people calling themselves African American, Black, and Puerto Rican, and Jamaican, and Colombia. And whether the name Colombia came from a man who went over into part of Colombia and Spain, and they conquered the world. The Greeks, the Romans, and Esau, they had power and they went into them other countries and conquered those people in that land, took their identity and renamed it. Now they over there call themselves the real Jews, the Ashkenaz Jews, and all those different people. So that's what happened. You see what I'm saying? So I'm in the book of Esther and Nehemiah, and in First Chronicles. I've been in First Chronicles ever since last year. First Chronicles, it talks about the genealogy of the Levites, Benjamin, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Gad, and all those people, Asher, Marla, Mushi, and all those things. Marla and Mushi refer, those are the Levites. That's those tribes of people is from the Levite tribe. Those are the sons of Jacob. Because Jacob had 12 Israelite sons. And when they went to multiplying and having children and things of that nation, and what happened was they went and they started marrying strange wives and marrying the other nations and stuff. Then they got children by the Egyptian women, and just like Abraham. Abraham started messing with an Egyptian or a Hamite woman. Like, I think I'm gonna say Hamite because the Africans, that's all the same. The Hamites, yeah. And you read about that story in Genesis, because Abraham told Sarah is to tell the Egyptian that tell him that you might have a sister. Okay, hold on, let me. Okay, I hate to turn my camera off because it got dark and you can't see me. So that's the only reason why I turned it off, because, it done gotten dark outside and you can't see me no more. So I really don't like I just might as well just turn the camera off and talk. But okay, boy, wait a minute. Okay. I hope y'all didn't hear that music back there. Yeah. But anyway, man, that's what happened. Yeah, man, that's exactly what happened. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead on, I'm just gonna close it out because it don't make no sense for me to drag it out and I ain't talking about that. I'll see y'all later here.